It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News Podcast. On this, what is today? October the 27th, 2023. Coming to you from right outside Port Canaveral, Florida. We're supposed to land there sometime in the next hour or so, and I hope to go ashore this afternoon. My plans are to go rolling around to Rusty's Seafood House and have some oysters, and to check on the project at the Exploration Tower. I think I got to go right past it if memory serves me correctly. But anyway, that's for the afternoon. Not a whole lot in the way of news today. Got a couple stories, but not a great deal. But before I get to that, first, my apologies for yesterday, guys. You know, I started the show a couple minutes early because I'd got a notice that I was running out of juice in the computer, and I have no idea why. I mean, I didn't do anything to suck it up. You know, it was like normal. And quite often I go do 2 full shows without hooking up. So I have no idea. By the end of the show, it was gone. I mean, it's totally gone. My apologies for that. I've got plenty of power for today. Probably not going to be a majorly long show today anyway. All right. So, couple stories in the news. Allure of the Seas sails from Port Canaveral, and it's an interesting aspect to that. Disney opens bookings on their new private island as well as the new ship, the Disney Treasure. Cooking oil to bus fleet. It's something that's been around quite a while, but there's a little different wrinkle that's being used right now by the Carnival folks. And of course, we got to talk about a weather update and lots more. We got a little more information from Otis that this clobbered Acapulco. We'll get to that in a second. Today is National American Beer Day, folks. Got no problem with that. You know, go have a Coors Light or a Bud Light or any one of the number of American beers. Well, and then you got all the microbreweries and stuff would be considered American beer now. So you got plenty of choice. Just go have a beer, celebrate the day. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big hitters, just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. We do this Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Of course, that's soon to become Eastern Standard Time here in another, a week from Saturday night. We'll be changing our clocks, whichever way. Spring ahead, fall back, whatever that means. So, and I'll probably screw it up. This weekend, UK is changing, which means I'll have no idea what time I'm doing shows with Pete, and I'll stay totally confused on that. But that's just me. All right, I got a little bit out of my comfort zone with 2 things yesterday. One, I had steak tartare as my appetizer at dinner. That is something that I have never done before. And I probably won't be a regular, but I'm glad I did it. You know, I didn't dislike it, but it's probably not my favorite. The other thing here, just the second day on this ship, I have delivered my ADA compliance report. That's normally saved for the next to last day of the cruise. And they're probably not real happy with the report, although, I had to emphasize the fact that, look, this is not a complaint from me. This is not me bitching, excuse my French. This is hopefully something that will help you, because one day soon the ADA folks are going to come inspect your ship. And if you don't fix the things I'm pointing out to you, they could shut you down. I mean, they don't mess around anymore. They got on Emerald Princess. They made a list. Here's the things that are wrong. To become ADA compliant, you have to do this, and you do it in 90 days, or we pull your ability to sail from U.S. waters, U.S. ports. They're not messing, folks. So I pointed that out to the people, but then I had to tell them what they've done, what's wrong. And folks, I'm not downing this ship. I love the ship. The ship is gorgeous. It's probably one of the most beautiful ships I've sailed on. There's lots to do. I've enjoyed the food. I enjoyed the food when I was on it before. Couple things that they need to work on. Embarkation was not the greatest in the world. It wasn't terribly bad. It was a little better than it was the last time, but that needs some work. And I don't know if that's them or the folks at Brooklyn, but that needs some work. As far as the ship goes, there's no lifts at any of the pools or hot tubs. None. Zero. Not a one. I even asked him, I said, look, do you have one stuck away in a closet that you just bring out when somebody asks for it? I've seen that happen before too. Nope. Not a lift on the entire ship. On deck 15, which is the main deck with the bamboo pool and the main pool and the buffet, it has automatic doors between those areas. So whichever elevator you get off, if you're disabled at all, if you're on a scooter or a chair, you don't have any problems getting to the buffet and back to the elevators because they're all automatic doors. That's it. There are no more. Deck 16, one deck above, are heavy doors that I struggled to open a couple of them. One had a lip. My chair, the C2, goes over it. But if I was on a scooter, it would have stopped it. Then there's two decks, 18 and 19. There's no access. The only way to get to them is by the stairs from deck 16. So you got to walk a couple flights of stairs to get to them. No elevator service at all. So that part of the ship is totally written off for me. I mean, I can't even get there. And then where did they set yesterday's singles meeting? In the Sky Lounge on deck 18. So I had to point that out to them. The public restrooms, there is not a single public restroom on this ship that's ADA compliant. There are no automatic doors. There are no push button doors. There are at least most of the restroom doors tend to be a little on the lighter side as far as the pressure weight goes, which is a good thing. I don't struggle as bad with that as I do getting in and out of my cabin. I have a handicap accessible cabin. It is lovely. It's huge. I mean, there is plenty of room in the world for me to roll around in the room and turn around, and I can go into the bathroom on the chair. I can turn around in the bathroom and come back out. I don't even have to back out of things. But getting in and out of the door is awful. It's a key tap, which is good to unlock it. That doesn't open it though. To open the door, if I'm going into the cabin, it opens out. So I have to pull the door out and start the chair going through and hold it with my foot at first and then my elbow till I get the chair going through, and then hope that it doesn't slam into me and knock me off the chair going into the room. Going out, I have to open the door with my foot. I mean, undo the latch, push the door open with my foot as I get the chair going through the door, and my foot actually slides off of the door. Okay. Then I got to hope that the door doesn't slam back and knock me off the chair that way. This handicap accessible rooms that I checked are all the same. There are no automatic doors on any of them. Now, I'm not in a balcony, so I can't address the balcony issue, which is another set of issues for wheelchair, whether they're power or manual. So I can't address that because I'm not in a balcony cabin. Physically, the ship is fine. I mean, there's no hidden stairways and things that pop up that you don't expect and don't see, and you have to go around to get to places. None of those. For everything that I've seen, at least, the floors are level. There are no crazy stairways and stuff, with the exception of the back of the ship where you got to go from deck 15 to 18 or 19 or whatever it is up the big stairs, which is ridiculous. There's a water slide. I'm not even sure where it is. I've seen the tube thingy, up over my head. I have no idea where it is. So, I can't get there to do it, see it. If I'd want to do it, I can't do that. So that's all in the issues that I gave them yesterday. So they weren't real happy with me, but that's okay. Like I say, they need to start addressing some of these issues, or they could be in big trouble whenever the ADA gets around to them. And that day is coming. And from what the information I'm getting, it's coming a lot sooner than a lot of these cruise lines are expecting. And once they're inspected, they get 90 days. You fix it or else. So, all right. We got some of the Chillie Cruises family out and about today. Let's see what we got here. I want to get up here to that one. All right. I heard from Elizabeth. She was in Kusadasi, something like that. She said this is one of those lovely barriers that they put a sign up to watch your step. She said that was from when she was in her modeling days. I guess she'd trip over anything. So she did go ashore at Kusadasi. That's in Turkey. And she said, I may have sampled an adult beverage. And then this gentleman, I have to go back and read you what she said about him. This is, she's with the owner of the store with the best fakes on the market, direct from Turkey. So he advertises the best fakes on the market. All right, so what do we have here? This is Cindy and the girls were at Jack Shack. Well, we know what Jack Shack is like. And yeah, there's some adult beverages. And that's the girls in the Mardi Gras in the background. Of course, they have a good time. They were in Turks and Caicos yesterday. Lizzie Lou was in Marseille. Bubba and Lynn are in Fiji and had lunch in a McDonald's in Fiji. Man, I wouldn't do that in Fiji. I'd have to go find some Fijian food or something. Something that the natives eat. I don't know what they eat in Fiji. Of course, my counterpart's still over in Scotland. That's Sylvia. She's north of Glasgow in an area of some war from the, I don't know, 15th century or something. She did get out on a lake over there. Of course, I always enjoy Sylvia's travel, basically because we try to do the same thing in promoting Will US and Scoot Around. This is Tanya and Dwayne. They're on the Celebrity Equinox. Man, that's a good looking steak. And look at them interesting mushrooms that the steak is embedded on. I found that. I mean, it's a nice steak, a filet mignon, which is right up my alley. But I'd really like to try some of those mushrooms because I've never seen anything like that. So anyway, that's on Celebrity. What do we have here? I'm not even sure what's next. Oh yeah, The Wonder of the Seas. Guess who this is? This would be Nikki and Roger. And of course, oh, come on now, show. There it is. That's Nikki and Roger. Of course, Nikki's been forced to join the scooter brigade, that thing with me. And that's Roger in the background. And what I found really interesting, the whole family's on this cruise. Those are their two sons. They're going to Daytona when they get back to being some big beard and mustache contest, international beard and mustache contest. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't think I've ever interviewed anybody in a beard and mustache contest. We might have to see if we can work that one out. All right, guys, I'll be back with a little bit of news here after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, guys, we got to talk about the weather before we get to really the hard part of the news. Yesterday I didn't have a lot of information on Otis. Well, I've gotten more information now. 27 dead, 4 missing from Hurricane Otis. As Hurricane Otis swirled north toward Mexico's Pacific coastline on Tuesday, a nightmare scenario unfolded for residents in and about Acapulco when the storm experienced nearly unprecedented explosive development in hours, going from a Category 1 to a catastrophic Category 5 with nearly no warning. It stunned residents and meteorologists alike. Otis would gain an incredible 115 miles an hour in strength in less than 24 hours, folks. It was a 50-mile-an-hour storm to a 165-mile-an-hour storm in like 20 hours. Unbelievable. Of course, it just killed Acapulco. All right, we still got to look at a couple systems out there, but thankfully there's nothing major. In the Atlantic, that's the remnants of Tammy. Tammy's gone away, but is still hanging. In the northwest Atlantic, it's a post-tropical cyclone, a strong extratropical cyclone, which was formerly Tammy, associated with an occluded front, is located a few hundred miles east of Bermuda. The system is forecast to become separated from the front later today. I'm not sure what that means. And environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive over the northwestern Atlantic to the east of Bermuda through Saturday. Regardless of tropical redevelopment, the system is likely to bring gusty winds and near rainfall to Bermuda during the next couple days. Interests on Bermuda should monitor the progress of the system. Talking about 50% chance in the next 48 hours, 50% chance in the next 72, in the next 7 days. So the guys in Bermuda got to watch for things. And I know some of the ships are already dodging, changing itineraries just so they're not anywhere involved with this one. We're not sure what's going to happen. I mean, Tammy should have been gone completely, erased yesterday. And here it's fighting back. All right. Out in the Pacific, you got one that's nothing, and you got one that's probably going to be another kick in the butt. In the one closest to Central America there, south of Central America and Mexico, a broad area of low pressure located a couple hundred miles south of the southern coast of El Salvador is producing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activities. Environmental conditions appear to be conducive for development of the system. Tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend, while the low moves slowly northwestward to northward. Talking about 80% chance in the next 48 hours, 90% chance over the next 7 days. And I'm just going to be on the other side of the land from this, so I'm not real wild about that. The one out in the southwestern East Pacific, don't even worry about it. I mean, it's nothing. It's going to do nothing, and no matter how much it develops, it's not going anywhere. So we don't have to worry about that at all. There's very little chance of development. You got to watch out for this one there off El Salvador, folks. All right. Top story today has to deal with our friends over at Port Canaveral. They became the #1 cruise port in the world earlier in the year. And this is just going to add to that as Allure of the Seas is now home ported. She's repositioned to Central Florida to offer short Bahamas cruises for the next 9 months. It's a great option for travelers looking for a cruise vacation that may be combined with other Florida attractions. And the first time Royal Caribbean has offered shorter sailings on one of its largest vessels. That's kind of the cool thing about that, folks. Normally if you get on any of the big ships, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sell you on the big ships. Some people like them, some people hate them. But if you want to get on one of the big ships, here's a chance to do a short cruise, which is something that Royal Caribbean has never done. 3 and 4 nighters to the Bahamas. Not a bad deal. Have no idea what they cost. I didn't look that up. But, that one we'll have to see about. All right, our friends over at Disney, they released their schedule for early 2025. And they've opened bookings to the general public, including sailings on the next ship, the Disney Treasure, as well as cruises to the new private port in the Bahamas called Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. 4 Disney cruise ships will visit Lighthouse Point, excuse me, in early 2025. They are Disney Fantasy, Disney Wish, Disney Dream, and Disney Magic. Each cruise ship will also offer at least one itinerary where the vessel will visit both of Disney's private ports, Castaway Cay and Castaway Key and Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. Disney Wish and Disney Fantasy will homeport at Port Canaveral. Disney Magic and Disney Dream will offer cruises from Port Everglades. Disney Treasure, the next new ship, will sail its maiden voyage in late 2024 and offer week-long cruises to the Eastern and Western Caribbean. All right, guys, this has been around for a while. You know, they started using cooking oil and repurposing it and using it for biodiesel fuel. And they started adapting some buses to use that. Well, they started up in Alaska providing biodiesel for some of the tours from the cruise ships. That you have to use the buses to get people around. The main source of this was restaurants in Juneau. Was where it all got started from as far as been used in Alaska. This is a process that's been around for 25 or 30 years, guys. This isn't new, but it's new in the cruise industry. When the pandemic hit, all the restaurants in Juneau went, to nothing. They lost their source of oil. So as things got going again, somebody came up with the idea of, well, what about the cooking oil that's used on the cruise ships? So they tried it out with Discovery Princess. They set it up so that they could, get the cooking oil, use cooking oil when they're done with it. They save it for them and they pick it up and they use it to be processed to run the buses. And now it's starting to spread. They're getting more and more buses that are adapted to use this because it's a win for everybody, including it's much better for the environment because bus diesel is one of the worst pollutants out there. So they're using oil from the ships now, cooking oil from the cruise ships to fuel the buses that take people on excursions. That's a win for everybody. So thought that one was worth mentioning. All right, that's it for the news portion of today's show. Let's go see who's fussing at me over in the chat room. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Enjoy your oysters at Rusty's. Hey, I'm looking forward to it. I love that place. Hi there, Tom says, hello, everyone. Chillie's Cruises, we need to invent a power door opener, something you can hold and pull the door open for you. Hey, how you doing, Linda? Good. Yeah, that would be interesting. Some kind of hook to carry around. Man, I tell you what, it's tough. We'll point out one thing because I've mentioned this quite a bit on the show in the past that I was a little concerned with being able to adapt from the scooter to the chair. Man, no concern whatsoever. It's even though I still miss my basket, I've come up with ways of carrying stuff that works just as well. And I mean, clearly, this is a terrifically great chair. I mean, it's sturdy, it does great things. Turns literally, I can turn around 360 and never move an inch. That's how good the chair is. I've been up to like a 2-inch lip of a chumbies. I saw it and tried it, and it just went right over it. So, this is a good one. So I'm very pleased with that. It traveled very well. I didn't have any issues at all. So that part was good. Our last visit to Port Canaveral in April, the observation tower was not open yet. Yeah, well, I've been to Port Canaveral since April, and it wasn't open. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out, about it. Matter of fact, I'll probably do, I'll film something, even if I got to film out from the street, looking at it with its scaffolding still up. But I'd love for it to be open. I'd love to go up, and I've never been up in the exploration tower, observation tower, whatever you call that thing. Robert's with us. Good morning, Robert. Katie's there. Have fun at Rusty's. Have an oyster and adult beverage for me. Katie, I'll be more than happy to do that, maybe a couple times. So I am a definite pass on steak tartare and seafood tartare. I will not even eat cold shrimp. Yeah, man, not me. I admit, I'm glad I did the steak tartare. But I love sushi. I mean, that was half the reason I did the steak tartare, because I've become such a huge fan of sushi. So Chillie will have to do a Zoom call with his solo group meeting on the non-friendly decks. Yeah, we had set. Thankfully, today's is scheduled back in the pub where we had the first one. So, of course, it is on and we're in port. So, who knows if we'll lose some people that'll be ashore, but that's okay. It was a great group. We had 48 people or something for the first one. So a really good solo group. Meraviglia was built in 2017. Recent enough, these ADA issues should have been resolved. There's no doubt about that. And Seascape, that was built last year, I was on Seascape, and that had issues just as bad. So that to me comes from, the main problem goes back to the management of the company, even back to the people that designed their ships, are not putting that in the equation. They haven't had to in other places. I mean, our ADA laws in this country are far superior to, I think, any other country in the world. So a lot of places just don't have the requirements. Therefore, they're not accessible. So, but it's all part of an educational process, even from the top down. Emily's here. Hello, everyone. Hi, Em. And everybody's talking back and forth. Kenneth's with us up in Pennsylvania. Hi, Kenneth. It's free Fridays at McDonald's. Free Fridays. Get it, folks? FRYDAY. Free Fridays at McDonald's. Until the end of the year. It might start next Friday, though, as a November promo. The Scooter Brigade. Yep, that's it. I couldn't get it out. There's Steve. Hi, Steve. How's thing out in Kentucky? I saw the license plate in my hood with your name on it. I saw a license plate in my hood with your name on it. Are you talking to me, Emily? Or are you talking to Steve? Or hot air? How many fries can people get? Is there a limit on that? How many fries are in that medium box? I figure that is like asking the old owl how many licks to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop. Wow, you're dating yourself, hot air. I just saw those RC trips in an app called Cruise Picker. These prices are there for the short cruises. The prices are very good. Yeah, obviously I got to check that one out, which I didn't have time this morning. I'm a little on the busy side, as you might imagine. But for some people that want to get on the big ship once, here's a chance to do it. If you like it, then you can book longer cruises. There's Joanne. Hi, Joanne. But can that chair back off a boardwalk in Cozumel and land on top of you? I sincerely hope not, because it'd be heavy as hell if it did. I can't pick this thing up. I mean, not like my other one that I put in my car all the time. This is 118 pounds, but it's a sturdy 118. Robert says, I'm surprised Dennis didn't have anything to say about the scooter brigade. Man, my tongue just won't say that. It gets over my, eye teeth and I can't see what I'm saying. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. You guys have a fantastic Friday. I'm looking forward to going ashore. I might do a pop-up live or something later on today after I'm getting Port Canaveral. Oh, we're now getting ready to go in and land. I can actually see some buildings out the window, so we're getting in pretty close now to Port Canaveral. So we're sliding into the port. Cindy just checked on the observation tower, and the website says closed until further notice. Yeah, that's what it was the last time I checked too. So, but I'll go by there and we'll film it today, so you can see how much it's further noticing is. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for being with me. Please smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing that as well. The bell notification tells you when I go live or when a new video is posted. So, everybody have a fantastic weekend. All you guys that are out there traveling, stay safe and have a good time like I'm going to. I'll report back on Port Canaveral later on today. And in the meantime, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. This is the old fat travel guy. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. I'll see you probably all weekend and then back here on Monday. Have a great weekend. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.